You can listen to this podcast warm, or you can listen to it cold.
Discussion time.
We back.
What is that?
We back. How's everyone doing? It's time for another episode of Spotocast.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Tyler, are you having fun? I'm having fun.
I am indeed having fun on this evening.
Now, Tyler, what should we warn them before we do? Before we do the spoiler warning, what should we advise all these peeps to do?
Well, I don't know.
What should we do?
I just don't know.
Maybe check out all the podcast episodes you may have missed.
Indeed. That could be what we're missing here.
Is that what I'm trying to get at?
I think that is.
Okay. All right. So be sure to check out any podcast episodes you may have missed. And obviously, spoiler warning, if you have not seen The Mandalorian, what are you even doing with yourself right now? You know, you rethink your life choices. Get Disney Plus. This is not a sponsored thing. I want to go home and rethink my life.
Indeed.
But yeah, seriously, this isn't an advertisement for it or anything like that, but go to it. Disney, please sponsor us. That'd be nice. That would be very cool. All right, so we got that out of the way. Before we get going, make sure you head over to Spotto Gaming on Instagram. This is where Tyler and I announce everything. We have game-related news. We have video updates. We have stream times. You name it, we got it. It's the best way and the fastest way to communicate with us, too, at the moment. And also, if you'd like to hear your questions answered, make sure you email us at spotogaming@gmail.com. And then if your question is good or your topic is good, we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about it on this podcast.
Indeed.
All right. And then, as always, Patreon and tip jar details will be located at the end of the podcast if you're interested in helping us out monetarily. That's always optional, though.
Yes.
All right. Did I leave anything out, Tyler?
I don't think so.
All right. So, The Mandalorian. Ba-bum. Tyler, what did you think of this?
Oh man, I did a lot of thinking about this. I like this a lot. Man.
You know what's really funny?
What?
This is the first Star Wars medium that everyone's universally okay with.
Yeah, that's very true.
They're all happy with it. There's no complaining.
I have actually seen some people upset, they see Baby Yoda so much, but most of the time, in my experience, these people I haven't seen it yet, and
they're haters.
They just wish they had seen it.
Maybe I'm haters.
I'm just playing with y'all if y'all haven't seen it.
But honestly, why haven't you seen it? That's the best question I can even ask right now. I mean, it's so good.
Indeed.
Everyone who's seen it has honestly been pretty fond of it so far.
Yes, indeed.
And for good reason. So how we want to structure this, it'll be a little shorter of an episode, but we have a few favorite moments we wanted to share with you guys and want to reflect on. And then going from there, we have a couple of season 2 predictions / season 2 and onward. So if we're right, you owe us a cookie. If not, then we're sorry. Sound good?
Yes, indeed.
All right, cool. So why don't you kick things off, Tyler?
So we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite mysterious voice, Werner Herzog, in this show. Man.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would. I really, honestly, the thing that I've seen him in that I liked him, the first time I really heard his voice was in Metalocalypse, which is Brandon Small's show about, some brain dead metal stars, but he played a very ominous kind of priest figure that predicted the end of the world. But his voice is just so unique.
I know that's what I was gonna say. Is like I've never heard of him before, but like people were freaking out about him. So I mean, I did some research and I was like, okay. And then when I first heard it, like in the trailers, his voice, and then I heard him in the actual show, I was like, okay, okay, I could get behind him narrating some like Planet Earth or something like that. I almost said Google Earth. I could get behind it. He has an iconic voice. It's kind of like James Earl Jones, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like one of those voices I'll recognize anywhere from now on.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good
So,
stuff.
I mean, also it was cool to see. I know we're talking about favorite moments and everything like that, but like it's cool to see how his character is like a what's left of the Imperial, like you know everything falling apart after 5 years after the last battle of Endor and everything like that. It's kind of cool to see the Imperials in shambles and there's like warlords trying to hang on to power. The New Republic doesn't really affect the Outer Rim that much, you know?
Yeah. They were talking about actually that outer place being like the haven for bounty hunters, you know? So like, I mean, like,
Absolutely.
there's no reason for Imperials to insert their foot there because they employ a lot of bounty hunters. The only reason they're there is for, the little guy. So.
Yeah, and it's cool how they're still retaining power as much as they are. I mean, there's still legions of stormtroopers, which is crazy to me, you know?
Yeah.
That is kind of wild.
It was kind of crazy when all the newer stormtroopers kind of came out, and I was like, oh, wow, look at that. I thought they were all like, like the first stormtroopers we saw, all dirty and, kind of mangy.
Yeah. Ragtag.
Yeah, ragtag.
It's the best way to describe it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to see it, though, you know?
Uh-huh.
I just thought it was cool to see this once great, like, empire's worth of, like, military legions kind of, like, scraping by. But then, at the same time, you see it at the end of the series where they're not technically scraping by. They're still kind of powerful and a threat, you know?
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, that was really cool, getting to see Werner Herzog in that kind of environment. And me being introduced to him for the first time was really cool.
Yeah.
Something you mentioned to me that I kind of wanted to bring up. That's why I put it on here. The Mandalorian versus the Jawas.
Oh my gosh. It was... all right, so get this. So when that came around, I was unsure about how far they were going to go with like sort of like fantasy violence of the show, like how far would they go? Because it's Disney, but it's still Star Wars, and like and
it's still brutal.
It's still
they
brutal.
had a guy literally get cut in half by a door.
Yeah, I just laughed so hard when he just started going after the Jawas. It was just merciless, just throwing them off the thing. They're all yelling, "Ee!" He's like vaporizing them. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I never really liked Jawas, honestly. In fact,
yeah, they're a little annoying.
I did not like them so much that I've talked about this game a decent amount. This is kind of leading into that game part, but there's this game called Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy, and there's a mission where, go figure, you're looking for a droid, and the Jawas have the droid you're looking for. So you're basically going through the mission, and you see little tribes of Jawas here and there, but there's mostly sand people. So one of the favorite things to do was the NPCs would actually react to each other. So if you spawned in a ton of Jawas, all the sand people would chase the Jawas around, and you're like, Utini! You're all getting like hit by like. But yeah, that was it. It just kind of reminded me of the back in the days of Star Wars Jedi Academy. But
gotta use those Jawas. Gotta use them to your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious too.
Yeah.
And he goes from massacring them to bartering with them.
Yeah.
And I'd be just as pissed if he was like if somebody come up and stole my freaking car and scrapped it, I'd be pretty pissed too.
And then
you know?
wanted money for the parts back.
Yeah. Then they charge you for the parts back of your car.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're gonna get into that a little bit more in a second.
Yeah.
But, what led back to him getting his crap back, the battle against the Mudhorn.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this overshadowed in a way, it's more memorable to me. More memorable. Oh, I'm tripping over my words a little bit because it's that exciting. It's more memorable because, it's the first real look at how force sensitive Yoda's race was.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people confuse the child with, is this Yoda? Is it a clone of Yoda? No, it's not. It's a completely separate thing. But we don't know what Yoda's species is called,
Yeah.
So we just refer to them as a Yoda. That's why people are going around saying Baby Yoda so much. But I mean, the child has such a in tune connection with the Force. He was able, he's still an infant in his development, but he was able to completely lift this guy, Mudhorn, into the air.
Yeah.
Had it not been for the child, the Mandalorian probably would have died a brutal death.
Yeah. That is a definite.
And I mean, the Mudhorn, speaking of brutal deaths, that did not die well. Did not die well.
Did not die well.
Imagine your last moments of breathing in this universe. You're getting force lifted by a small little green thing and stabbed in the throat by a man in armor.
Yeah.
He's like, what? What is happening?
He did not see that coming.
Dead. No, he did not. Or she, I should say, because I mean they were after an egg.
True.
They were after, dude. I thought this egg was gonna be some kind of precious thing.
Yeah.
And they freaking hack it open and start eating it like it's a Kinder Joy.
You little freaking monster! This is why.
They start making those stupid noises, and they're eating the yolk. It's so disgusting.
I thought it was gonna be a Kinder, not Kinder. Was it the crate dragon pearl from?
I didn't know it was gonna be a snack.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna be a snack. I thought it was gonna be some kind of really valuable item they could trade for stuff with.
Yeah, some kind of crystal egg thing. And it's no, it's just.
But no, it was their version of crack.
Yeah.
They had to have it. They were willing to give this guy an entire spaceship for it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy on a galactic standard if you think about it,
Yeah.
That's a spaceship for an egg. But yeah, I think that was the part of the story that really stole and made me care about the child. I mean, at first, when the first episode aired and everything, and we saw those ears, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I was really surprised and everything. But this was the moment that really sold it for me,
Yeah.
That his Yoda species is that powerful.
Yeah. And
we always knew he was that powerful, but still.
I honestly didn't when I first watched. I didn't expect him. I mean, I kind of thought something might happen, like a Dos Ex Machina, but this case, Dos Ex Baby Yoda is just the savior of the last second.
I forgot to tell you. I was gonna actually say the trailers made me think it was gonna be a space westerny kind of thing, and it is. It really is.
Yeah.
I was like, so here's my prediction. He's gonna get asked to do a bounty, and he's either gonna meet a woman or he's gonna have to kill a small child. That was my prediction going into it. I said his target is either gonna be somebody he falls in love with, or it's gonna be a child, and he's gonna choose to save them over get the bounty.
I see.
And obviously, I was a little bit wrong. He did turn in the child for the bounty, but then he went back and stole him again.
Yeah.
But my prediction is that it was gonna be one of those two things. Either it was gonna be a hot girl, or it was gonna be a kid that he thought it was gonna be rude or immoral to kill.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna be a Yoda. Now, don't get me wrong,
Yeah, because they were saying it
Um,
was like 50 years old, and I was like, wait, what?
yeah. At that moment when they said 50 years old, I was like, okay, so it's probably going to be a girl, you know? Because, I mean, like maybe it's his mother or something is what I was thinking. But then and then I was like, oh, okay, I get it because they live for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm. And like you
I
do
mean,
hear Yoda like dropping like when in Luke's series, like he's like, look this good when you live to be 800 years old or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
that's just like a little taste of how old probably they
yeah.
can get.
He was training Jedi for hundreds
Yeah,
of years,
he said, yeah,
which is insane. But like, I at that moment I was like, okay, maybe it's not a child. But then I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was gonna maybe be like another Mandalorian or
that'd been
something like that at
interesting.
that because they said 50 years old or something.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I thought about it, but at the beginning I was like, it's gonna be either a girl or it's gonna be a child that he doesn't like. He chooses not to kill.
yeah.
So all right, moving on from there. I feel like we spent a good bit of time on that. What's your next point, Tyler?
Well, the next point is I was going to talk about seeing Ming Na Wen in the show.
Gotcha.
That was really cool, honestly. I've been a fan of her from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, by the way, if you haven't watched it, it's a wonderful expansion on the Marvel Universe in general.
Oh, and just so everyone knows, it's Fennec Shan's character, the person they were hunting on the Tatooine.
Yes, yes. They got the name from like Fennec Fox. That was kind of wily kind of character.
Yeah, she was pretty wily up
She
until her
was not
death.
to be messed with, not to be trifled with, which all of her characters historically have been similar that way. I mean, like she played Mulan, for God's sake, in the original animated series. I mean, like this, the movies Mulan 1 and
Yeah,
2. But yeah,
I was about to say there was an animated series.
no, there might have
I was
been.
about to say I need to watch that.
But
I get more Mushu any day.
um, but yeah, that was really cool to see her in the show. I hope that we see her
For sure.
again because I can't imagine she was just like a little guest slot or something. But,
Well, she's dead.
yeah, is she?
Yeah, remember the guy he teamed up with that was trying to get in the guild killed her.
Hmm.
He said who wouldn't want to be a legend. He killed her, and then that's when we got that awesome teaser. Because okay, Tyler, do you know who the only character in the Star Wars universe that has spurs on their boots?
Who?
Boba Fett.
Really?
Yep. When I heard the spurs and it cut away, they teased Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
There's no other character, at least unless it's an original character. There's no other character in the Star Wars universe that has spurs on their boots. I knew that right away. I was like, "It's Boba Fett." So, I mean, there were comics about how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit. So, I mean,
Yeah. So
like,
I actually had done a little bit of research on her character, and a lot of people think she's still alive. They have like lists and lists and reasons of why. So like in the same spirit of what you're saying, Boba Fett coming out of the Snarlack pit, like or whatever it was, like
well, she's got to be pretty close to death then, because she got shot. So
he got shot and thrown into the pit.
yeah.
So
I mean, she might have been playing dead, but she was laying in the desert pretty long.
yeah,
You know,
but
I don't know. That would be cool to see her again. Maybe Boba Fett is recruiting people. You know, but like that's definitely Boba Fett, unless it's an original character. That Boba Fett's the only person that we know of that wore spurs, and that's where the Mandalorian
no,
idea came from.
Yeah.
'Cause, he's not really a Mandalorian. He didn't live by the creed, and he definitely wasn't born a Mandalorian. At least not in the canon. But it's where the idea for the race came from, and that's why you see the iconic helmet and everything like that. So it's just really cool because he was the only person. He was the only person that wore spurs on the boots. Go back. I challenge everyone listening. Go back and watch the original trilogy, and listen to Boba Fett's scenes, like hear the spurs on his boots as he's walking. It's really cool.
Yeah, they actually had said that it was kind of a nod to Boba Fett also with her character, because I mean,
Yep.
if you watched Agents of Shield, like I was saying, she plays essentially like just the most badass like gunfighter and like martial artist like there is, and
For sure.
and it was cool that they kind of gave her that kind of little nod there. You know what I'm saying?
Another way she could probably return if she is in fact dead is, I mean, they've been playing around with the idea for cloning.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's infinite possibilities that this person, her character could return, and she'd be a formidable foe because I mean she's a pretty good sniper.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, moving on from there. Another favorite moment of ours. This is in no particular order, but when the Mandalorian is saving the child from the stormtroopers and the Imperials, I have it so blissfully in capital letters on our notes. I put, "I'm Batman."
Yeah.
Because this was Batman.
He really.
It was literally all the takedowns in Batman's arsenal.
Like the upper downward punch. Like the chopping action kind of. Man, he just.
And then utility got like this utility belt of everything you could possibly ever need to kill people.
That was great.
So funny. I loved it. It was an awesome fight sequence.
Oh my
I loved
gosh.
it. Kept me on the edge of my seat, even though I knew that he was going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because it was only like episode, 3, 2?
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
I think it was 3. I'm not sure.
I would like to.
But yeah, no.
I was going to say, I would like to say they did an excellent job with sound in this. Like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
with all those battle scenes you're talking about being so intense, like that feeling, like they do a real good job of making you feel like you're in that battle like he is, That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. They do a good job making it a very interesting space western too.
Yes.
Like whenever, in old western movies, somebody would get on the big Gatling gun. He obviously gets on the big Gatling gun a couple times,
Yeah.
It's very standoff, showdown kind of thing.
And to reinforce that space western thing, I actually was thinking my father would like this series because he was a big fan of, he still is a big fan of all of the, western,
John Wayne
yeah, John
movies,
Wayne, I just, I thought he would like it, and he did like it, and I was like talking to him about it, and said, yeah, it's kind of like that western kind of space feeling, kind of space western, and he said, yeah,
it really
I
was.
really like that about it too, but
it made me happy because it was like something that you don't really normally see.
yeah.
And all these tropes you read about and you watch and stuff like that, but then you see them and you're like, oh, okay, this is okay because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that was really cool, and I really wanted to point that out. But going on from there, we have
The stormtroopers chatting. Mate.
Yeah. So we all know and love stormtroopers being made fun of.
Mm-hmm.
Close to the end of the series, we have 2 stormtroopers that are on or they're scout troopers technically. They're on the speeders.
Mm-hmm.
And they're horrible shots.
Yeah.
One of them's like, it's like this, man, and then he proceeds to fire and miss every single time. It's just so funny. I mean, like, that's such a bad trope in Star Wars, is that stormtroopers are horrible at aiming.
And it just
they
started
made fun of it.
shaking the pistol, like almost looking down the barrel, like, is this thing? Yeah. Oh man.
It kind of reminds me. So, as a music teacher, whenever a student plays a wrong note, and they take the instrument off their face,
Yeah.
and they look at it, and
It was you. You did that. You can't.
I'm like, the instrument ain't broken, honey. It's you.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. It made me laugh. I was like, he looked at the pistol like something was wrong with it, like banging it a little bit.
The whole.
But yeah, It was just really funny.
Like that whole comedic like banter they had between them too, because he was like, "I just want to see it. Come on," like all these different excuses, and then he's like, "Look, he just wiped out a whole platoon to make a point. Now, personally,
Just for interrupting him.
yeah," and he's like, "Personally, I get that point. Do you get that point?"
And then they're just going back and forth talking and stuff, and like it's
The nanny droid.
they shall not punch the baby.
Thou shalt not harm
soon as-
Baby Yoda.
I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, yep, that's it. Karma's a thing. The Force is going to reconcile these people. And then our beautiful IG-11 in his nurse mode, by the way, which was glorious. IG-11 comes by and just completely obliterates them. So funny.
Yeah, it was a real Loki and Hulk scene there. Just really just beat him down.
Puny God. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
But moving on from there, the number one moment for me, having watched Clone Wars, having been just recently finished Rebels, and having been a huge fan of the Mandalorian, like idea of the Mandalorian culture, the second the edge of the Darksaber came out of that TIE fighter with Moff Gideon like came out of the TIE fighter, and I saw that blade, I literally screamed, "It's the Darksaber!" And I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, how does he have the Darksaber? Oh my goodness. We're about to get into this, like, in our theories and stuff.
Yeah.
But Tyler, what'd you think?
Man, I honestly, the first time I saw it break through, I had seen it. It was spoiled by me because I was scrolling through YouTube a week prior. But
Only you can avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
Do not be a jerk.
yeah, so after I had seen it, like I had let you know that I had saw it, and you said, "Dude, have you seen that episode? Don't get me
Yeah.
started until you've seen the episode." So
I know. I had to keep myself quiet because I absolutely cannot stand spoiling things.
yeah, and so no,
Ugh.
no. As soon as you said that, you were saying like, as soon as I saw it, I screamed out loud, "It's the Darksaber!" And
Oh my god!
yeah, and
And I mean, it looks great for being in a live action thing.
oh, it looks excellent too. Just the motion of it too. But like as soon as it pierced, that's all I heard in my head, and I just like laughed. But like it was really so cool to see it again.
I knew from the moment the tip came out, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even hesitate. I was like, oh my god, are they seriously doing it? My dad was watching with me, and he was like, what is it? I said, oh my god, it's the Darksaber.
Now,
It was insane.
I haven't seen the past two series that you had seen, but I have seen the Clone Wars, and that was the last time that I saw it. Maybe you can fill me in a little bit on like where
Okay.
with hands it's trained it since then.
So we first see the Star Wars in the Star Wars the Clone Wars. We see it. This is a recap. So I mean, if you've already seen Clone Wars, then great. This will just be a good recap for you. If you haven't, go watch Clone Wars. Spoilers. We first see the Darksaber in the hands of the leader of Death Watch, so the Mandalorians during the Clone Wars, they were under Duchess Satine, and the Duchess wanted to move away from the warrior tradition. And there is a clan led by Pre Vizsla from Clan Vizsla. Clan Vizsla was descended from Mandalore the First, the
Oh,
person
wow.
who actually constructed. Yeah, so they're very warrior bred and everything. Like Death Watch was a almost terrorist group, kind of. Yeah, like they did act very
I would say
terrorist-y. Yeah, so Pre Vizsla was in possession of the Darksaber, and the Darksaber, like historically, is the rallying point that unified the Mandalorian clans. Well, events happen. Darth Maul, who is alive at that point, comes into contact with Pre Vizsla, overthrows the rule of Mandalore, becomes the surrogate ruler of Mandalore by stealing the Darksaber, challenging Pre Vizsla to combat and chopping off his head. Spoiler. So Darth Maul has it for a while. Darth Maul is then shunted out of Mandalore by Palpatine, Darth Sidious. You know, the huge, awesome fight.
Oh, I remember that. That was excellent. Like, easily top 5.
It really
fights.
was.
One of them in the whole series.
Even though he's, you know, shunted out of Mandalore, he's pushed into hiding and stuff. Darth Maul goes into hiding. He still has the Darksaber. It's not until Star Wars Rebels that we see it again.
I see.
Sabine Wren, one of the characters on there, she's a Mandalorian from Clan Wren, which is kind of closely related to Clan Vizsla. Not really, but kind of. They, you know, kind of ostracized her because she worked for the Empire a little bit, built some weapons for them, a super weapon that basically targets Mandalorians. She, you know, obviously joined the Rebels, though. Well, she comes into contact with Darth Maul, and then Darth Maul actually plays a pivotal part in the main character's like growth as a Jedi. But she comes into contact with the Darksaber as soon as they find out what it actually is, and like
I see.
the main character's Jedi Master knows exactly what the Darksaber is and what it means to her people. So he's like, you need to learn to wield this. So Sabine does. And, you know, she gets challenged and contested and stuff like that. But then obviously she, you know, wields it really well. But then she finds out that Satine's sister is still alive. And she's the kind of like the leader of what Death Watch was, Clan Vizsla, things like that. And she takes the Darksaber and gives it to Satine's sister. And they unite the Mandalorian clans. That's the last time we ever saw the Darksaber. You know,
so it was literally used as a peace symbol, like kind of like a olive branch extension.
Not really a peace thing.
No? I thought you just said...
Not really a...
And like unified them both.
Yeah, by using an iron fist. I have the ultimate sword.
I guess.
They value well, Satine's sister didn't use an iron fist. She just used it as a rallying point. But like Darth Maul, for example, took the Darksaber and like brandished it.
Yeah.
You know, he used it as the weapon that it was, you know?
Yeah.
And in the legends and stuff like that, it's not canon, hasn't been proven canon yet, but in the legends, the Darksaber was said to drain the Force ability out of people who touched it.
Really?
Yeah, so like it's kind of good that the Mandalorians used it because a lot of them weren't Force sensitive, but that's not canon yet. But that was in the legends. But like it's a really cool thing. So that brings us to our question: how did Moff Gideon get it, and are we gonna see how he did from the Mandalorian Purge? Because obviously he was there, he took it, you know, because he must have either A, won it in combat, or B, they massacred everyone and then took it.
Well,
Like,
Mando was saying
kill.
that like he had heard his name before during that time, or something like that.
Yep. So he had to have been there because, I mean, who doesn't want a black laser sword?
Yeah.
You know, that's a prize.
Yes.
I mean,
what a tool too, though, because he literally like cut his way out of there. Like,
yep.
Can't do that with most things. Yeah, I don't know what you could do that with other than that, or a lightsaber.
Yeah, I know, right? It brings us to the next thing, though, is season 2 and on predictions.
Yes, indeed.
Tyler, obviously, feel free to jump in with your own stuff. I have a few things that I've wanted to talk about.
Alrighty.
And we can discuss it a little bit.
Yeah.
But my first prediction is they will not find more of the child species yet. It's going to take a while. Or they might not do it at all.
I think we get like a little teaser or something towards the end of season 2 or something. Like a little glimmer of hope that they might be there or something. You know?
Yeah, they might, but I mean, think about it. It's been a mystery this whole time. John Favreau and Dave Filoni basically idolized George Lucas, and George Lucas' biggest concern was not revealing too much on Yoda's species.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only ever time we ever saw anything other than Yoda was Yaddle.
Yeah.
You know, Jedi Master Yaddle was the closest thing to another Yoda species that we saw.
I remember actually seeing him in my data booklet when I was a kid too.
Yep.
But yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't think we're gonna see a whole clan of Yoda species or anything like that. We might see, you know, hints to another one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna just make a make that storyline end like that, you know?
Yeah, obviously. I think it's gonna be very interesting how they handle it.
Yeah, because I mean, he's basically the Mandalorian is basically the baby. That's his foundling. He's a father figure for it now,
Yeah,
and ostensibly, the child is a Mandalorian now.
yeah, and
So,
and that's really cool because she was like, "You are a clan of two,"
yep.
and like, I was talking to Josh about it before, and I was like, "What if the Biota is the Mandalorian?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, he pretty much is, because like he is part of
Yeah.
that now. He's a foundling."
It's a creed, you know.
It's so cool.
It's a creed, not really a race.
So
I thought it was a race too.
me too.
The name the Mandalorian could be referring to the baby. Yeah,
No,
that would be kind of cool.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's very reflective in that way.
Yeah.
My next point is that we will run into either fallen Jedi or Force sensitive people of some sort, because he's been tasked with finding other people of that Jedi race, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I said race, but I don't really, necessarily mean race. Force sensitive people can technically be classified as their own thing, because I mean, not anyone can just be a Jedi, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. I think we will run into at least one or two. But, I mean, he's not going to just give away the child.
No.
He's probably going to understand a little bit more about what the Force is in this season or coming up seasons. Are there any characters that you would like to see make a return? Or do you want them to be completely new, like Jedi or Force-sensitive people?
I honestly would like to see some new ones. It would be.
I think new would be good, too.
Now, is this about the same time where Cal is?
Cal
Yeah.
is
I can't remember.
Cal is during the start of the Empire.
Okay.
I mean,
No, yeah.
spoilers.
What
for,
if we saw an much older, like, Jedi Master Cal Kestis?
Yeah, I was about to say spoilers for Jedi Fallen Order. That would be kind of cool. I mean, because he's not dead at the end of Fallen Order, and it'd be really cool for them to tie in different mediums like that. So I think that would be kind of cool. Or
It's kind of hopeful.
somebody related to him, like he has like a child or something.
Yeah.
Or like an Easter egg, his lightsaber or something, like Jared DePaul's lightsaber comes into frame or something.
Well, they were talking about the Obi-Wan series. Now, what if he... Now, that wouldn't work at all, would it?
Well, Obi-Wan's dead.
Yeah,
by this
he's
point.
very dead by then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cal
else.
would be a very... they would have to make it clear that it is Cal, because he would be very old by then.
Yeah, I would have to be newer Jedi then, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
That, or they could have some Order 66 survivors that
yeah.
we know their name, like we've heard them in Legends before or something. I mean, they have a whole like army and a plethora of like Jedi to go from in the Legends,
What if...
But I honestly think it'd be cooler if it was original. But
you remember how we saw some clans or some people of some of the clones kind of branching out that did not have that gene in them for the Order 66?
oh, the inhibitor chip.
Yeah, what if we saw maybe like descendants of like original clones? You know what I'm saying?
That'd be kind of cool. But the only known clones that had their inhibitor chips, they kind of like deal with that in Rebels, because it wasn't a gene; it was literally an implant.
Yeah, but like they have run into people like even like while the Clone Wars were going on, they ran into a couple that defected like way ahead of their time. Like somehow they found out about it. Remember?
Yep.
So like
Yeah, but it was a chip in their brain,
sure.
and there was only a few people like canonically confirmed that got it removed.
Yeah, but they're going to be breaking some rules because when have they ever not done that?
That's true. I mean, they could honestly ride it in to where more clones got rid of it.
Yeah.
But even if they didn't, they discharged all the clones after after the Clone Wars were done. They went to different means to get their armies and everything like that. So even if they were clones that killed Jedi, they got discharged. They didn't get like killed or anything like that.
That'd be interesting.
Like they explored in Rebels. Like that's why I say you gotta watch Rebels, man. They talk about what the clones did after the war, even the ones who got their chips removed, and even the ones who didn't. It's just good.
They can't possibly cover every single one of them, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, but like
universe.
canonically, they've confirmed that only like a handful of clones, and a lot of them are dead. Only a handful of them had their chips removed. So like, even if we see clones, like they don't have to have their chips removed. They could have been gone through Order 66, and that'd be kind of interesting. Honestly, that'd be more interesting because they'd be like, "Well, why did that happen?"
Yeah.
Or that was the plan the whole time. That actually be kind of more interesting than.
I mean, like they already threw canon into like a new mix with already giving the Darksaber to, what's his face. So like, why wouldn't they try a few different things? I don't know. Like, I think it'd be really cool.
It would.
And you're saying,
I mean, there's no telling how many of them actually disobeyed Order 66. It's just canonically they've only confirmed 5 or 6, I think, at this moment, and I think only one of them was left alive.
I see. Well,
or 1 or 2.
I think that if we had some like fallen Jedi, or if he had maybe like I don't know, someone fallen Jedi kind of join the crew, that might be kind of interesting.
That would be kind of cool.
Because right now we don't
help raise the baby.
Yeah, we don't have anybody really permanent on the crew now. Because I thought, I can't remember
Cara Dune.
Yeah, I thought the shock trooper and I can't remember the other guy's name either.
I think that he I think both of them will be recurring, but I think it's like kind of like a father-son kind of mission.
Yeah.
They're gonna have like overarching character arcs and things like that, but it's gonna be mostly, just them two. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be really cool. I think it'd be really cool for them to explore.
Yeah.
I really want them, moving on to the next point, I want them to come into contact with another hidden group of Mandalorians.
That'd be cool.
Like, they can't all be dead.
No.
From that covert or whatever it was called.
There has to be more out there, but what I was thinking, what if they run into, you're saying like another group of Mandalorians, but like they're not so friendly or something like that, or like they run into them and it's like everything looks good around here, but like underneath they're like actually like killing people on the side or something crazy, like
they're breaking their creed.
Yeah, it's kind of like
that'd be cool.
Like a similar situation to where remember Aang goes to the air temple and he finds the people there, and like, oh, we're good here, and then it turns out they're making weapons for the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, that'd be cool, interesting.
Yeah, like they're breaking the creed.
Yeah,
so that'd be an actually really cool arc. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Whether or not we find more Mandalorians in a good way or a bad way, I think it'd be cool to honestly see both. Like, I want to see the armorer again.
Yeah.
The one who gives him the signet and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna. Oh man!
She freaking pushed that stormtrooper into the flames.
It just ate him up, like just immediately, just like made him into molten trooper.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about that forever, though.
She lived,
yeah, she's alive.
That's what I thought.
Like, she was the leader of their little covert or whatever. I don't remember what they called it exactly, but because she was the strongest,
Yeah, she wouldn't be.
And she was
later.
the one who knew everything.
Yeah, she
was the one who knew how to forge it.
She wouldn't be like any kind of leader if she couldn't handle a handful of stormtroopers, I suppose.
Yeah, it's very true.
With forging instruments.
Yeah, that was so cool. She literally used her environment so well. Oh my god. But
next,
I think my last point and you can obviously add anything you want. My last point is I want to see, if not in season 2, but I want to see it sometime. I want to see the Mandalorian challenge Moff Gideon for the Darksaber.
Yeah.
Because it can only be taken by Mandalorian, I should say. It can only be taken by like a challenge, like a one-on-one challenge,
And
for the right to wield it.
he has the high ground now too with that jetpack.
He does. Please, I want. Okay, screw the whole list. I want him to make a high ground reference.
Yeah.
Well, I got the high ground with this jetpack. Oh my god, I would cry. That'd be so funny.
I would cry.
Yeah. Tyler, I've talked a lot. Is there anything you want to see?
Oh man.
Anything off the top of your head?
Anything off the top of my head? I don't know. I know I would love to see him wield the Darksaber, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be... I think that's going to be like the final boss kind of thing. It's not going to be resolved in season 2.
Yeah. I would like to maybe see him visit Kashyyyk.
Ooh, we get some Wookiees.
Yeah, I would like to see how that planet has fared, because that's honestly one of my favorite planets in the whole Star Wars.
That'd be an expensive budget. CGI and everything. That'd be crazy.
George Lucas will eat your heart out.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, it was a good first season.
Oh, excellent.
It was amazing first season. I'm glad that they've already, like, within the first week of the first couple episodes coming out, it was already renewed for season 2, and they've, like, right now they're actually filming it. So, you know, it's going to be out again this year.
Yeah.
In the fall. So, I mean, this is probably going to be one of the highest grossing series for Star Wars. We've got a lot of good Star Wars content coming up. Obviously in February, I think it's February 19th actually, Tyler, or is it 17th? The Star Wars Clone Wars season 7 is starting to premiere on Disney Plus.
Yes, that's going to be exciting. We're going to be getting new ones every week.
I think we're going to have to be doing some Clone Wars podcasts soon.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much Star Wars to talk about. Obviously, we can't just squeeze it all into one thing.
And there's so much I forgot about.
Oh, go ahead.
You know what I mean? Like,
honestly,
you're talking about the whole thing with Darth Maul. I forgot he took over there for a little bit. I was like, whoa. Yeah. That just completely blanked my mind. But yeah,
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so that kind of stuff made me really nerdy. All right. Well, did we miss anything? Is there anything else you would like to mention before we get on to the last bit?
No, I think that's it.
All right, cool. Tyler, take away some of the call to action.
All right. Now, if you're listening, we humbly request that you subscribe to our YouTube channels and our Instagram. My partner here, his YouTube channel is Fusrodab, Fusrodab. And search Mission Minecraft when you search his name, because that's what you're going to see the most of, honestly. And if you want to give me a subscribe on YouTube, that's Tyler the Gray with a capital T, no spaces.
Do it.
And our Instagram is Spotto Gaming, SPOTOGAMING. There we have our gaming news, our stream schedules for when we're going to be streaming games, what games we're going to be streaming, as well as some really cool screenshots of all the games we're going to be enjoying.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Also, we would also like to ask you to find it in your hearts to donate to our Patreon. Everything that is donated to our Patreon is not just going into our pockets, it's going back towards you people. Everybody that is enjoying our content.
Beautiful humans.
Yes, you beautiful people. Everyone who's enjoying our content, we can make it better with new games, capture cards. Capture cards is our biggest thing we're saving up for right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if you want to find that, it's patreon.com/SpottoGaming.
There's also a lot of rewards for you too.
Yes,
so you can check
indeed.
out all those rewards there.
We have screensavers for rewards. We have exclusive kind of cooperative streaming deals. So like you'll get to actually come on and see some of our worlds.
Chat
we build.
with us live.
Chat with us live in our Discord server. It's going to be great. We're going to be having this podcast very soon here on the iTunes and Spotify and major podcast outlets.
Consumable areas. Yeah. And also to add to that, if a monthly subscription to Patreon is not what you're looking for, you can always head over to both of our descriptions of our videos. We'll have them from now on.
Yes, indeed.
We have a PayPal tip jar, and any amount is perfectly fine. There's no maximum or minimum. You can leave us a message. Right now, the monthly reward for a tip jar is you can ask us a personal question or have a topic for us to discuss, and we will do that on our next live stream. Also, if we do it while we're doing Mission Minecraft and anyone donates anything, remember $1 equals one press of my favorite magic button that kills Walker.
The presidential football.
It's football season, yo. All right. Did we miss anything, Tyler?
I don't think so. Do you have anything you want to say to our audience?
Just the one very important thing. Have yourself an amazing day. But above all else, stay excellent to each other. And we'll see you on the next podcast.